not catching it, so if you fall in, it's on video. So about 4 miles in, we stopped and saw Betsy at 19 miles, so that was kind of cool. Things are going good. We had a few little slips in the morning there on the portage, but everything else is going good. We're gonna go about another 10 miles and then try to find a place to camp. About 27.5 miles in or so. Nice little group of islands here. We're kind of paddling it around. Got the mossy covered rock thing going on over there with the lichens. There it is, day one, golden hour. This is our first campsite. Nice still waters this morning. I didn't sleep very good. I think John got about 6 hours of sleep. I think I got about 1. We got this nice rocky outcropping here. So we got to Grassy Portage last night about dark, and we decided to go for it, which I think was a mistake because it took us about an hour and a half and it was deep, deep mud. I ended up losing one of my sandals, so now I'm down to Crocs, and the Crocs ain't worth a damn. So this is gonna put a real challenge on my challenge. But hopefully we get more stuff that looks like that and less stuff that looks like knee-deep mud and cliffs. And then I'm just gonna be keeping my eye out and see if I can't get lucky and find some other kind of shoe out there. I got a left, I need a right. So anyways, we'll find it, hopefully. We'll be hitting checkpoint 1 here in just a little bit. Nice flat morning. A little bit of a slow start, but we're on the water now. 8 o'clock. Somebody's got a couple little cabins up in here, a nice little boathouse. Just past checkpoint 1, and we're heading on down a couple miles. We're going to enter into the boundary waters. So it gets a little narrow here, just a real pretty little view. Somebody's got a log cabin right over there. Kind of closer than I thought, but we're now entering the boundary waters, Lake Superior Canoe Point. And John just fell in the water for the first time. What?
First time I fall. Dang it.
How far down in the Keys?
So these are the shoes that this awesome man, what's your name?
Dave Colbert.
Dave Colbert. Thank you so much.
Minnesota.
Nice to meet you. Thank you so much. Minnesota nice, I always say.
Yeah, it's all good.
So yeah, that's awesome.
What key are you on?
We're gonna get a pair of gloves
What key are
too.
you guys on?
I live on Plantation Key.
Plantation.
Yeah, so second one down, just below Key Largo.
Okay.
And I got a shop there. We sell paddle boards and we rent them, and so I do crazy stuff like this as promotion for the shop.
Well, do you? Well,
Yeah.
I'll be your part of your promotion.
Out here in the grasslands, just coming out of Little Vermilion, heading up towards Loon Portage, and there's just grassy area. It's pretty cool. Grass and water lilies, lots of water lilies. Miles in. Look, the Loon Portage. Had a nice 5.5 mile river paddle here, going upstream, but not much current. There's a railroad track there. This is a portage for motorboats and kayaks and canoes and paddle boards, which is pretty cool, huh? My first portage with my gifted shoes. Thanks, Dave. I'm gonna walk up this hill and not slip and not twist my ankle and not have to go barefoot. Thanks again, Dave, for the shoes. Look at that right there. That would have been fun with Crocs.
Oh, hold on. The color's much better on this side. Aloha. Portaging with an unlimited.
Mahalo, please.
You don't see this every day.
All right, now we're going from Lac LaCroix, the big lake. Lac LaCroix portage, nicest one so far. Look at this, we even have a rocky bottom to get in this time. There's a little bit of a headwind, so we'll have a little bit of work for the next couple hours, but it is what it is. You know what I say when I get to this? I gotta put my mean face on. At first I thought this was one of the painted rocks, but it just looks painted from afar. We should see some, what are they called? Pictograms? We should see some Native American artwork somewhere along the trip. So it's the morning of day 3. We pulled into this campsite last night. It was pretty dark, so we couldn't tell how pretty it was till we woke up this morning.
Oh, so we ran into some locals. And they told us the secret moose call. So here we go. Here, moosey, 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 moosey. Here, moosey, 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 moosey. Here, moosey, moosey, moosey. No.
Lots of choices. Which way to go? When I'm doing this, I rely on my Phoenix 6X Pro. This sucker right here, it's got the maps, got how far I'm going, how far I'm off course right now. It's awesome. It's a great watch. Phoenix 6X Pro with mapping. And the battery lasts all day long. One stroke at a time. All the way to the Granite Portage. Cinnamon ferns. But as you can see, there's no paddling over this. So, world's shortest portage here to there. And then we can ride the channel out the rest of the way. Not easy, but that's why we do it. That's Curtain Falls right there. That's why we had a portage, that last portage. No paddling up that. We got this little tight squeeze here, going between a couple islands. We're calling it the no passing zone. Hopefully I can make it through standing up. I might have to kneel down if I get a big rock or something. That's what we do if we see some rocks that we're gonna run into. We'll get off and kneel down, because that way if you fall over, you ain't gonna fall too far. It looks like I might be able to squeak through here. Yeah. Ooh, isn't that sweet? Oops, a little bit of a drag there. We're coming down from Crooked Lake, and it's got this nice little pass through here. Right on the international border. Canada on the left, US on the right. About 99 miles in, something like that, 98. Beautiful little spot here, kind of quiet. We've had a mixture of open water and tight spots. That's kind of what I like. Open water and then some tight spots, so that both sides come down. You feel like you're kind of in a river. Feel like you're closer to nature. Table Rock. It's a famous campsite used for eons. Right on a point. Got a hard day so far. Got another 5 miles to get to the end of the lake. We're going to formulate a game plan right here and figure out what we're going to do. Tuesday morning, day 4. We stayed at a really nice little campsite about a mile and a half from Lower Basswood Falls. Today we're going to be doing a bunch of portaging. It'll be hiking day today. But this place has a nice takeout. Campsite's up there. And we got about, hopefully we can do 20 to 30 miles a day. Probably closer to 20. It's going to be a lot of walking. We had a hard day yesterday. Only made 30 miles. We were hoping to make 40, but it is what it is. Had a headwind all day pretty much. Really hard working. Woke up a little sore this morning. John did great. We're going to make it. Today we're going to pass the halfway point. And this cliff was just too beautiful not to take pictures of, so good night rest last night. Slept like a baby. Finally. First 2 nights pretty tough. Last night was the 3rd night. I did great. I think that's our first pictographs there. Looks like a bird and a deer with a baby deer behind it. Maybe a moose. That's pretty cool. I hear there are a lot of them out here, but not so much along our route. Mr. Nipper over there, behind the tree. That's the Lower Basswood Falls there. That's pretty nice. About 105 miles into the route. We'll be coming up on the halfway point here in a little bit. All right, we'll see if we can get up this waterfall here by paddling. If not, we're gonna do an up and over. Right up the bore. Basswood Falls. If there's ever a war between the U.S. and Canada, this is where it's going to happen. There's the U.S. there. There's Canada over there, staring each other down with a waterfall right in the middle. Some treaty a long time ago, we're allowed to use the Canadian side. That's pretty cool. Welcome to Canada, eh?
Just got on Knife Lake. It's about 6:30. Beautiful out. Last of the day. I'm gonna go a few more miles, and find a campsite.
Okay, it's day 5. We're on Knife Lake. We had a really nice flat. It was a great day yesterday. We saw several bald eagles. We saw some loons. We saw some mergansers. Lots of kingfishers. And we pulled up. Man, Knife Lake is a very busy lake. Real hard to find a campsite last night. So we got lucky and got this one right here. Just a little bit off the trail, but not too much. The leaves are really beautiful. You can see these maple leaves over here. Check these little maples out here. Yeah, so we got some good color going on. It's not quite peak season yet, but there's lots of leaves changing. And we're having a great time. It's a little breezy this morning, but it's a downwinder. One of the things I really like to do is bring a tarp along. It's just an old ground cloth. Then you can put all your crap on there. That way you're not digging through your bag every time you need something.
Just saw 3 bald eagles in the Knife Lake here. It's a gorgeous lake, rimmed with evergreens, spruce, white pine, cedars. Tells you to zig and zag, and this is what you get. You get a little zigzag, a little close rock action. There he is. Beautiful cedar trees with a kind of cinnamon colored tips. It's pretty cool. We're coming to the end of Otter Lake. There's a nice little flat, shallow, lily pad strewn, beautiful little pond at the end here, right in this corner before we go up to the portage, which is right over there. Looks like some people are coming down right now. Y'all are awesome. Look at this. We got portage. We got portage help. John, get your board. Let's go.
Portage Angels.
Portage Angels.
One year we ran into somebody and seriously
They are. They got it. Go. Go. Get your board. Let's go.
We gotta go back anyway.
We're on schedule. Uh-oh, I'm on the Canada side right now.
So where did you guys started and
Yeah.
got all the way?
Hey, our portage porters. Y'all are like trail angels. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a safe rest.
You have a great trip. We'll send lots of thanks and love y'all's way the whole time, just like we're doing with Dave and my shoes. Kind of cool. We're in Swamp Lake now, having just gotten grand treatment by a couple of portage angels. Heather and her dad from Indiana carried our crap for us besides the boards. That was really nice on a sweet, steep, uphill, rocky, tough portage if you're trying to do it all at once. It's such an honor to be here. It's also an honor to remember those who've been here before, and to those who support me for being here, my wife, my employees, the people in my life that look after me, my mother. Thanks. I'm gonna pass on our side, United States. Yeah, not to, well, we're gonna take a lap around. Look at this. We take a lap around. There's the Canadian side. There's the US side again. Look at that. 1 foot on either side. Bam. I am so glad I did this trip. I wanted to do this trip when I was a Boy Scout, back when I was a kid, but Boundary Waters was where all the rich kids got to go. It was a little out of our budget, I think. I never asked though, actually, so I don't know. But anyways, it's been a lifelong dream of mine to come out here. So it's kind of nice to realize, oh, there's a bald eagle right there. Color over there.
Pretty breezy today, but luckily it's behind us. We're going through this little tight squeeze here. John's coming through it right now. Tight squeeze you do on your knees because you don't want to fall over if you hit a rock. Little tight squeeze there, bumped a couple times. Got another little tight squeeze here, and it should open up for a while and be the real lake here. A little windy, but we got a little bit of leeward coming up here at this island. So I just need to paddle across the windy gaps and stand up behind the islands. After this, the lake gets narrow again. Should flatten out a little bit. I can see it's way flatter up ahead there by the islands. So that's why I'm shooting for these islands. And then I can work my way down the lake. I'm really supposed to be over on the right-hand side, but since the left hand had such a heavy crosswind, I pulled up to the left to kind of stay out the wind as much as possible. Cabins in the woods here. We got a pedal boat. But you can't portage that though. Saginaga Lake, still boiling. A little bit more of this and we duck down behind some more islands. Glad we brought boards. Loving my inflatable so far. SIC 14 by 28 RS inflatable. One of the things I noticed about the inflatable, I've done a lot of long paddles. And it's easier on your feet and knees and legs. You are more comfortable. I don't know if I could take one of the Everglades Challenge because there's too many oysters and stuff. Or stuff like this where the rocks are round and it's big rocks. Pretty nice having the inflatable. Don't have to worry about hurting it when you set it down if you had a hardboard. All those portages were pretty rough. Thinking about bringing a hardboard through there. There's a big one. It's nice, it's kind of bobbing along, top of the water. This past Saginaga Falls wasn't that great, but a little bit of a portage up and over, pretty steep. It'll be portage to portage to portage from here for a while, all the way to Gunflint Lake. The Devil's Elbow, it's on Lake Marbouf. It's a beautiful lake. It's probably one of my favorites so far. We had a nice 4 mile downwinder. We're gonna go around the corner and probably get out of the wind now, but looks like there was a fire here not too long ago. There's very little trees, no big trees. So probably got burned over. Coming up on the end of Lake Marbouf. It was a really nice lake to paddle. Just one short upwind section. Lots of pretty outcroppings. Beautiful little spot. We're gonna go do a quick portage here and then we start a series of 8 or 9 portages in a row. So up and down, up and down, up and down. We're getting the old cedars that are dead make look like skeletons. There's new ones, new growth. Whenever there's a fire, there's opportunity for new growth.
Oh.
What do you think? That's a pretty portage, isn't it?
Oh, it's pretty, but
We're almost there. Look at the leaves, man. That's just spectacular. It's the most colorful one of the day. Day 5. When we realized last night that we weren't going to be able to make the checkpoint, we decided to pull off before it got too dark because we're in the middle of a bunch of portages. So we wanted a good campsite. And what we got was this place that was really awesome. It's got a beach. Look how long our beach is. This is our beach, mine and John's beach. And there's John up there getting warmed up by the fire. It went down below. It was freezing last night. All of our wet stuff is now hard stuff. So my clothesline over there, everything's kind of stiff. And then John's over there drying his stuff out by the fire, trying to warm it up, thaw it out at least. How cold was it last night? Cold enough to freeze. Look at that. GoPro frosted. John's not gonna know what to do. His GoPro's frozen over. So we're experiencing a low water situation here. We're supposed to be put in way over there, right over there. Now we're having to walk all along here, all the way around to here, and put it on these rocks so we got some deep enough water and it's not knee-deep mud. Those are pintails. Some kind of duck. That's what we were rewarded with right there. And yeah, we did have to come up that crack. Boards are still down there. But that's the portage right there.
Well, I meant the real pretty picture.
Clear, high quality H2O right there. Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
This is what it's all about right here. Can't believe it took me this long to get here. If you're thinking about coming out here, don't wait. So, what do you do about water out here? This is the best so far. The Be Free by Katahdin. It has a large mouth so it feels easy. John's got one. It's got a tiny mouth. It doesn't feel very easy. Real pain in the ass. Plus the bottle collapses so you can't even get any water in it unless it's running. But you want to pull your water out of the lake here, so we don't have any running water that we're filling up with. Now we're into Gunflint Lake. And we had a really nice paddle down Gunflint Lake, a nice downwinder, like about 5 miles, a really sweet downwinder. And then We got this little cut through. Looks like we got a beaver dam coming up here. Not sure how I'm getting around that yet, but I'll figure it out. Damn, beavers. And that is how it's done. Another grassy lake here with a big beaver mound there. Nice grassland, kind of lake looking thing here. And then this is looking back at that beaver dam we just came across. John finished his way across it. This is pretty cool. It's all backed up by that beaver dam. All right, we made it. This is the other side of the BWCA. So we still got a ways to go, but we made it to the end of the wilderness. After this, it's just going to be National Forest, I think, but it's all good. This is the portage from North Lake, Little North Lake to South Lake. And it's pretty nice when they put these wooden posts, little slabs here for you to walk on, so you're not tromping through the thick mud. That thick mud will get you. He claimed a sandal for me the first night, but thanks be to Dave, I got shoes, so that was awesome. Pheasants, female pheasants, and the borderline. Gonna go on the Canadian side this time. Left the Boundary Waters canoe area behind us. We're in the Superior National Forest on the right. I'm not sure what the Canadian equivalent is on the left, but we are still full on the borderline. We got another, I don't know, 50 miles to go or so, 60 miles maybe to finish up this race. So a couple more days of paddling. Paddle.com. Nice orange colors over on the far side there. We're noticing the American side has orange, the Canadian side is still green. So not sure if that has to do with the exposure. I imagine that's what it is, the side that's getting exposed more to the sun. Lake into Rat Lake. About a quarter-mile, pretty tough portage, but real pretty, real beautiful. Of course, that gets kind of cliche out here, where everything's pretty and everything's beautiful. Rat Lake. Lately, we've been overshadowed by this beautiful mountain up in the front there. So we're still on Rat Lake, but every lake we've had, we've been able to see this thing as we're approaching closer and closer. I hope we get up close to it. I'm not sure if our route takes us up there or not, but we'll find out in a little bit. So this is the first really mega long portage we've come to. It's a 2-miler going up the Rove Lake. Looks like we're going through a birch forest. White birch and black birch. Pretty cool. Check out this awesome beaver dam. Check out this awesome paddleboarder. Day 6. We got to the end of the 2 Mile Portage last night, and it was getting pretty close to dark. Instead of going on and trying to find another campsite down the road, down the water, we decided to stop right here. A nice foggy scene there. Fog on the river. Little grassy area there. It was very cold this morning, so we got a little fire going. And John's warming up some of his gear. Hopefully we get going by 8. Ready for action. Going down, let's see, where are we? We're on Mountain Lake. 7 mile leg. Mostly downwind. It's pretty nice. Been a nice ride so far. We're about 2.5 miles from the end. I just watched a falcon try to nail a small bird who was trying to cross the river. I think the bird made it, but the falcon was making these great swooping dives and trying to get that bird, and that bird would go down by the water, and the falcon didn't want to get that close to the water. The little bird would get right down to the water, and the falcon would give up, go out again, turn around, swoop back in again. Did that about 10 times all the way across the river, and I never did. I think the little bird made it. So that was pretty cool. Pretty cool to watch. And it's a series of a couple of little ponds and portages, and I guess they call it the Lily Lakes because it's really pretty weed clogged. There's one little trail at the middle here that I'm kind of off of right now. Getting in was tough because it was super muddy, super shallow. That's why my bags are both on the front here. And then I was actually standing, had 2 of those bags stacked on top of each other, and I was kneeling right behind the bags to get my fin all the way out of the water. But then the nose was plowing in the mud. We're up in the Lily Lakes, and this is the second one, I think. It might be the third. There might have been one that we kind of hiked around because we had to get out like way earlier than I anticipated. So there was like a log jam or a beaver dam or something there blocking us from getting into that first Lily Lake. So there might be the third one. But this one's got the lilies. Holy smokes, look at all the lilies down there. Another beautiful walk through the woods. Getting ready to come into Moose Lake. And we got a 4 mile stretch. And another really tough portage, supposedly the worst one, rough wise. And then another 4 mile stretch. And then I think we're getting pretty close. Oh, look at this beautiful little cinnamon fern section I'm coming up into right here. The autumn leaves are turning. It's been beautiful colors. Beautiful place to hike. Portaging is kind of nice actually. Breaks up the paddling. Keeps your legs exercised. You would think after standing all day, you'd want to sit, and that's kind of what I was afraid of. But it's actually not too bad. It kind of helps ground your balance again by getting off and walking a little bit. A little more of that Moose Lake portage. It's so pretty in here. It's one thing I miss living in Florida is this fall season. And the spring too, because in Florida it's always kind of spring-like or summer-like. But you don't get that change of seasons, so you don't see the plants in their real glory like I'm used to living in the Appalachian Mountains all my life, most of my life. 50 feet of the Moose Lake portage. I just had to walk back and film this because it's just incredible. It looked like somebody dropped some rose petals for us. They're maple leaves, but look at them all along through here. It's like they just decorated the path with red leaves. And you come out through these little scrub bushes here, and there's Moose Lake. Bam. We're starting to get close to the end of our lake paddling here. We got Moose Lake and one more lake. Well, North Fowl and South Fowl Lake. So I guess we got 3 lakes to go. And then we'll be in the river. River's about 10 miles. And then we got our 9-mile portage at the end.
I just wanted to say I think, as a whole, have been really, really fortunate with portaging. It's been a doozy. We're the first to do it for a reason. It's not easy. But the fact that it's been mostly dry the whole time we've been doing
that's been great, huh?
we've avoided some major, like what we got into the first day when we were like knee deep in mud. We've had patches of it here and there, but for the most part,
Been doable, huh?
Yeah, it's been manageable.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I'm just really stoked. It's been awesome.
Coming out of Moose Lake, and we're headed to Foul Lake. And this is, we got a couple more portages after this. Looks like we got a tree to cross up there. So this is how you take a break when you're on the trail. Just sit down on the board, get that backpack off the back, and gives you a little break for a minute while you change hands if you want. At Foul Lake. No wonder they call it Foul. Not sure how I'm gonna get out there. Figure it out. Looks pretty muddy. Staying on the grass side here. Looks like some people went to the right. Whoa, it's a deep one. Whoa. Okay. Okay. It's got a lot of weeds on it. a lot of mud. You saw me fall down there a minute ago. So where I'm at now, I got some shallow water. I got my front bag there. I got my back bag there. And I got my body right here at the tip of the board. And the fins out of the water. And I'll pull my way across these shallow flats to where I can find some real water here. And then I'll rearrange everything. Getting the mud move. It's a little tricky. Yeah. Hard to balance.
There's the rock.
There's the rock. Now you're good. Now you can probably just pick a spot and turn around and re-rig your board. Good to go. Hopefully this water depth keeps up all the way out to the, got a little pond there. It's probably deep enough, and then the big lake is out that way. This is our last lake of the trip. It's Foul Lake. We're in North Foul, and then there's South Foul, but it's all one lake. I thought earlier it was two separate lakes and we were gonna have another portage, which means we go all the way to our 1 mile portage, and then we're in the river, the Pigeon River. Now we're into the Foul Lake. Next we're gonna go down to that big rock face down there. About 4 miles. Foul Lake's about 4 miles long, so I suspect we'll get down by that big rock castle down there. Hellacious crossing there. Upwind, pretty sloppy. I was on my knees paddling, I was getting soaking wet. But we're almost to the portage here at the end of the lake. This is our last lake, Foul Lake. It was pretty foul. We got our fins fouled with weeds. We had foul weather, foul wind anyway. But I can't complain too much. We've had downwind so much of this paddle, way more than any Everglades Challenge I ever did. And look at that cliff there to say goodbye to us. And somebody's got a sweet little cabin over there in the woods. One more view of that. That was too pretty to say goodbye to. So I'm getting one more shot. It's probably 300 feet or more. 400? I don't know. Way up there. Covered with birch trees.
Coming into our last portage.
No?
No?
Go one more to this.
Last lake, though.
One more to the last lake, yeah.
Last lake.
There's one on the river. We gotta do Partrige Falls. Last lake is done. And now we just got the river. Well, we got a 1 mile portage and the river. 10 miles of river downstream tomorrow. That's been pretty nice. Hopefully that's gonna be moving. And then, what can you say? The scenery speaks for itself.
Epic. Epic. Our last lake, it's kind of sad, actually.
It is kinda sad
I mean,
in a
it's been
way.
a week, 220 miles down in 6 days, I think.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's sad that this is our last lake, but
It didn't let us out very easily though, did it?
no, it was about a 19 pace I had on that one.
Ugh. It was tough. Anyways, we're gonna get this portage done and go get some camping. The last major portage from Foul Lake down to Pigeon River, and of course another gorgeous woods setting. It's a 1.2 mile portage. So that's one of the longer ones on the course. I think it's the second longest besides the Grand Portage, which is going to be tomorrow, which is 9 miles. But we had one that was about 2.5, 3 miles in there. So this is, seems a little easier. We'll see. Now we're going downhill, which is nice. Most of our portages are uphill until the last couple days are downhill. So it's kind of nice. Got the full leaf coverage going on here. Really pretty. We're gonna make camp at the bottom of this hill here. Finish it up tomorrow. Okay, it's the Pigeon River. Looks like a lake right here. I think we're gonna make camp here just to be on the safe side. It's awful tempting, but we're gonna wait. 1 mile portage, 1.25. It was tough. It was really tough. We had deep mud, rocks, logs, all that kind of stuff. Probably the toughest portage that we did. Unfortunately, John forgot his pack back at the exit from the last lake, so he had to go back and get it. So I'm gonna get camp started here, and then he'll be here in a little bit. Day 7. Just getting ready to launch. John's finishing up his toothpaste. Getting the boards ready for the river. This is a river paddle. So we changed into shorter fins. John had a bigger fin. We put him on my 5.5, and I got the rock crawler. Check it out, custom made. Paddle of Florida Keys design. We're gonna go on down that river right there. And hopefully we won't hit too many rocks. So 10 miles of river with a little portage in the middle, and then we got the 9 mile hike to get us back home. We may end up going finless here in a little bit if we have to. Sometimes you got to do that just to get over the really shallow stuff. But a little bit of rain. Feeling good. Check out this long flowing hair grass here. This is cool. It's almost mesmerizing the way it flows in the current. There's a big patch of it. Like a horse's tail. This area is called the English Rapids. Not much of a rapids really, but you know, when you got a full load, everything's tough. Everything's tougher, especially after 7 days of paddling, 6 days of paddling. This one's got a nice little clear section right down the middle, it looks like. None of these are really bad enough to need to scout, I don't think. So far anyway. If we see something come up, we'll stop and scout, but I think for now, we're just kind of running these little puppies as we get to them. Section of rapids here. But I think I can get it with my fin on. A couple of ducks going by there. Big flock up above. So we got down through the English Rapids, and then I put my fin in. It turns out we weren't all the way down through the English Rapids. So I put the river claimed the rock crusher fin. The rock crusher is forever my sacrifice to the river. So now I'm on the 9-inch fin that John was using, because I had given him my 5-inch fin. I didn't want to take it back since I already let him use it. But we're back in deeper water again, so that should be all right. It's kind of like it was at first, where the water's grassy on the banks and grassy on the bottom. There are some rocks still, but they're pretty spread out. John's still going without a fin up there, so he's zigzagging like crazy. Sooner or later he's gonna get frustrated with that and put his fin back in. Around Partrige Falls, the pretty falls, I had video of that. You wouldn't believe how tame it is down here, that there could be that raging falls just right around the corner there. But it's a good thing we didn't try to run them, because that wouldn't have been a pretty thing. We got about another mile and a half of paddling, and then we just had the 9-mile portage, and we'll be back in the heater again. It's been a cold trip, especially at night. Haven't had any good night's sleep in a couple of nights. Just tossing and turning and trying to keep warm and shivering. Last night was pretty good. Built a big fire before I went to bed, so I got warmed up real good before I climbed in my sleeping bag. At least my feet were warm starting out. And then I finished up with a fire in the morning. So I made a nice, comfortable start to the day. I don't usually light fires when I'm doing these kind of things, but it was so cold. We took to lighting fires the last couple of days, actually, because just had to get warmed up a little bit before you get moving. Going down the Pigeon River down below Partrige Falls. Last mile and a quarter of the trip, of the paddling part anyway. This is the last little bit here of the paddling, and then the hiking begins. So we're gonna get here to the Grand Portage. Looks like the river gets pretty bony again up there. And we're going to pull out, I think, just before that and do some hiking. I got some rigging to do. Got to get my board ready to go. So I'm going to deflate my board, roll it up and put it on my backpack, and bring it all at one time. That's the plan anyway. We'll see how it works out. For being good to us. Thanks to the weather for being good to us. Thanks for all who support us being here. I'm forever grateful. This has been the trip of a lifetime so far, and now I just have a 9-mile hike to get out of it. Portage, historical Chippewa Trail. And so when we get This is it right here. Check out that portage load. We're going home. Well, here it goes, 9 miles. Pretty good so far, huh, John?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We got it good right now. Beats the mud, that's for sure. Thanks for whoever put these planks down. And all the old timers who've gone before. And all the old timers who are going to go after. Okay, about 1.25 miles in, 1.3. I want to cheat myself. Going good so far. Pretty tiring, but you know, gotta get out of the woods. So far, the gear's working out great. Really pleased with my halite bag that I got for this trip. Check them out. They're out of Finland. They're a small company, but they make some high quality, lighter weight bags. They're a couple pounds lighter than the Yetis. I used to use the Yetis. They're kind of heavy, and they don't have as many features as the halite. So I'll be doing a review on them later, but really appreciate the quality and durability. It's good stuff. Halite.com. Next time I do this, definitely bringing 2 3-piece paddles. That way at the end, it'll be easier to carry out instead of having to carry this long thing. I hate hiking sticks, and that's what this paddle's like, a hiking stick. You gotta hold on to it the whole time. Driving me crazy. The beaver was highly prized by Native Americans for food and by the fur traders for its pelt. During the 70-year period that the great carrying place was used to transport furs from the northwest, over 1 million beaver hides were carried down the Grand Portage. By 1800, the beaver was nearly extinct in this area. Wow. This is the way you take a break on a log. Get that load off your shoulders for a little bit. Feels really good. It's hard to get moving again though. Got about 3.6 miles in. Pretty tired. Pretty tough. Well, burning daylight.
Nice.
I got the GoPro too. Nice job, man.
I'm like crying.
This was awesome, huh? That was a hell of a drive. We had great conditions. It was downwind like 70% of the time, I think. 50, more than 50.
We had some pretty good conditions, and then some tough situations.
Yeah, I bet you guys were flying on some of the downwind legs.
You did all right, but there were some serious headwinds sometimes.
Come back in there.
Serious
There we
ones.
go.
Where this board of mine, it's not good for head and cross. And we had a substantial amount of that too.